Hello, welcome to the Viewpoint. I am Mumudumboch. Today on the program we're going to talk about divorce. How prevalent is it? And what's the cost, the damage on the self, both parties really, and the children, and perhaps wider. Are there any really social costs in a wider sense? To help me answer those questions and more, really I've got in the studio Dr. Kadi Alhaji Moro Suwane. Welcome to the Viewpoint.
Thank you, Mr.
Doctor. That's it. So right now you are a Kadi. Where exactly do you sit? I think that there are many Kadi courts around, but where exactly?
Yeah, in the whole region we have a Kadi court.
Yes.
And the first Kadi court, it's Banjul Kadi court.
Yes.
And then you have Kanifing. And then you have Bundung. And you have Birkama.
All right.
Then you have Kerawan. Sorry, after Kerawan you have Basse. In Basse you have Bansang. And Bansang you have Mansa Konko.
That's it. So we've got Kadi courts spread across
across the
country.
Across the country, yes, of course.
So that's it.
Yes, of course.
So right now you're where?
I'm at Basse now.
You're at Basse?
Basse, yeah.
That's it. So you just happen to be in town?
Yes, of course.
That's it. All right. I have to say this. You look quite young, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm young.
How does one become a Kadi? What was the training like? What training did you go through?
Okay. To be a Kadi, you have to be a BA holder in Sharia. In Sharia.
So you have BA
yes,
in
I
Sharia
got BA in
law.
Sharia law.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Or you have BA in Sharia and law.
Okay.
That can help you for you to qualify it to be a Kadi.
Okay, so it's different from, what about somebody with just an LLB?
LLB,
you know, the common law.
Common law, no.
No, you cannot be.
No, you cannot be.
So you have to go through that
you have
specialized.
Yeah, specialized. Yes,
specialized
Sharia
training. That's it.
Yeah.
How long does the training take?
No, university level. You have 4 years.
All right.
Yes, you have 4 years.
All right.
University level.
That's it. So do you have here the universities young? Any institutions that offer?
Yes, of course. We
program?
have now 3 universities. They are Islamic universities. Including Open University, which is called IOU. So but we have 3 universities. Their lecturers graduate from Arabia Saudi, Libya, Sudan, Egypt, Morocco, and they are lecturing the students in Arabic language. Yes, of course.
Okay. So to give us a bit of your background, your educational background, just a synopsis.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mboch. I started my educational background through my uncle called Sheikh Muhammad Barakante in Sifo, the village in Kombo South called Sifo Kante Kunda, for 11 years. Read the Quran and the Islamic Malik School of Thoughts, Maliki School of Thought. Then I proceed 2006. I joined school 2006. I started, I think, grade 7, become Islamic Institute called Mahat. I graduate 2011. 2012, by the grace of Allah, I traveled to Sudan. The University of International University of Africa, the Faculty of Sharia and Law, where I got my LLB, first degree, bachelor's degree in Sharia and Law. Then 2016, I think 2016-17, I proceeded to my master's degree. The university in the same country, Sudan, the university which called the University of Sinar. I graduated there with master's degree, Faculty of Sharia and Law. Comparative studies, Sharia and law.
Do you have many Gambians going to Sudan for studies?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
So continue.
Yeah. Then 2019, I start my PhD, and I complete my PhD 2021. Just last December 24th, I got my PhD in the same specialization, that is Sharia and law.
That's it. Well, but when you finish that, we know that in common law, one tends to go through what they call some kind of pupillage.
Yes, of course.
Before you practice, because before then you were just studying,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, school of
Not-
law school.
That's it, not practicing.
Yeah, that's not
So
practicing.
immediately you're done.
Yes, of course.
Is there any such thing, a mechanism called pupillage, as we see with common law trained people?
No,
No.
no.
So from the state, you became a Qadi.
Yeah. There are interview, or we can call exams. You can go through of that. There are panelists, elders, where Qadis at the Qadi appeal panel. They will interview you. So if you cross that interview or you cross that exam, you become to be a Qadi.
Absolutely. But I wonder though, in the beginning,
Yes.
whilst you are inexperienced,
Yes, of course.
imagine you face a case that in your eyes, is
yeah.
quite challenging.
Yes, of course.
What options do you have there within the structure to get help?
To get help,
Yes.
yeah. They will attach you with somebody who got the experience before you. Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all these, the new intake,
Yes.
they tend to be attached to a
somebody,
more
yeah,
experienced,
to more experienced,
one for a while. So that's essentially the kind of pupillage. Okay, granted. So now let's hone in on our subject, divorce. So it's been what, a whole year now you've been a Qadi? From 21?
5
nearly?
years.
Oh, for 5 years
5
you've been a
years,
Qadi.
yeah.
Okay. So that's it. How prevalent is it? The graph, when you look at 5 years, is there any distinguishable graph emerging? Something going up or coming down?
Yeah, something going up. Because of daily basis, the divorce cases are increasing. I can say the divorce cases in the Gambia now, it's increased to 20% or 60% now.
So do you reckon that from when you started 5 years ago, things have worsened?
Yeah,
it
things
wasn't
are
like
worse.
that.
Things are worse on daily basis. Things are worse on daily basis, of course.
All right. Let's try to sort of try to get a sense of here what we're saying. For instance, 5 years ago, how many cases would you maybe treat per week?
Yeah, I started
Or
from
for 2 weeks?
Mansakonko Qadi Court. Just say it's a little cases, it's a few cases, not more cases. But if you come to Brikama and Bundung and Kanifing, the all problems, these divorce problems, you have it Bundung and Brikama and Kanifing. And I worked at Bundung, Brikama, and then Kanifing for some months.
So you can see this regional variation.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Because of, I think, 2019, Brikama we registered, I think, 400 cases. But now you have 500 cases, Brikama and Bundung and Kanifing.
That's it. This was 2019.
Yeah, if you add the cases which is inheritance and divorce, maybe inheritance, I think we can say 200 here, and the rest is divorce, right, and divorce.
That's it.
Yeah.
So in your mind, there has been quite clearly, it's been going up.
Yeah,
really. The numbers have been going up.
Yeah.
But here I'll wonder, sort of filed mainly by whom? The males, the wife, or the husband?
Both
It
of
would be
them.
interesting to know.
Both of them.
But that's it. So you don't have any one.
No, both of them. Because of
woman.
sometimes you can see the husband come to the court. He say, "I want to divorce my wife." I divorce her. She refused to get out from my compound. So sometimes the wives can come, tell you, I claim a divorce from my husband, and he refused. So both of them are filing the case.
That's it. But can a wife come and say, I divorce my husband? Or is it always the husband who can divorce? That's why you ask for divorce.
Yeah.
You don't, the wives
do you know, Mr. Mboj, the divorce,
yes.
It's separation.
Yes.
To separate.
Exactly.
Okay. If you come to the Islamic jurisprudence, the type of divorce, or the way of divorce is three. The husband, the man, he has power to divorce his wife, even without not reason. And the wife has a right to get out from the marriage, but she will refund the dowry. She will refund the dowry. And the court...
So whenever the wife asks for a divorce,
yes,
it must be granted.
It must be granted. It must be granted. It must be granted. So, court has a power to break the marriage. To break the marriage.
The court can break the marriage?
Yeah, the court can break the marriage.
Based on what I wonder.
Thank you so much. The question is very important. Like somebody, he has traveled for 5-6 years, he's on abroad, and his wife sitting in Gambia waiting for him, and he didn't come. The wife has the right to go to the court, claim a divorce from the husband. That's her fundamental right. If you come to the Islamic jurisprudence, and if you come to the objective of Sharia, that's her fundamental right. Okay. Lack of, maltreatment, beating, insulting, lack of feeding, sexual problem. She has right to go to the court, claim for a divorce. Based on these issues, the court can break the marriage.
Absolutely. And here, this is interesting here. Now, I know that in our jurisprudence, in our laws, we operate civil law, which regulates both marriage and divorce, isn't it? Customary and Sharia. Who decides where to go? How are these things decided? How can I imagine that I was married in the mosque.
Okay.
But we're going to have a divorce, but we've opted to use civil law. Can I do that, the common law?
No. Each court has his jurisdiction. The 1997 Constitution established the Qadi Court to adjudicate the marriage and inheritance and divorce. So only Qadi Court, if the both parties are Muslims.
Okay, yes.
If
but
the both parties,
absolutely.
If the both parties are Muslims, the Qadi Court has the jurisdiction to look into that matter.
So, but the parties cannot say, no, I prefer this.
No.
Well, why not?
No.
Why has that basic choice been taken away from the individual? We've got 3 systems.
Yes, of
it's
course.
just the nature of our laws. We've got 3 systems. Why shouldn't I have the choice that I want to be adjudicated within this jurisprudence?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mboj. Do you know, our laws divided into 3. If you go to the Constitution, you have common law, and you have Islamic law, and you have customary law, So if you come to the customary issues, you will not go to straight to the magistrate court or straight to the high court. You have a customary court, so you should go there. They will solve your problem. So if you come to the criminal cases, you will not say, my choice, I will go to the Islamic court. And you have some Qadis who knows the criminal issues, who study the criminal issues, but it is not their jurisdiction to look into that matter.
Okay, now
so the Constitution make it very clearly.
Yes, this was really what we inherited, as it were, from the colonial experience, isn't it? They were trying to have some kind of frame, some kind of accommodation within the
and
different...
the Qadi Court was here more than 115 years. It was established since 1905.
Absolutely, that's very true. Okay, so now we go back to your experience. You've already mentioned the regional variation.
Variation, of course.
Some of the reasons. And do you also see any regional variation to say, for instance, that when you go to places like Kerawan, they tend to get divorced on one or two issues. You go to Brikama, interesting,
Yes,
slightly different reasons, perhaps
reasons,
reflecting the socio-economic conditions of these areas. Have you discerned any of these patterns?
Yeah, do you know, if you go to these urban areas, a lot of divorce cases will discuss by the family level, at the family level. The family will sit and discuss and solve the matter before the court. So
that's what you see.
But if you come to the combo areas, that is difficult. It's very difficult because of, do you know why, Mr. Mboj? A lot of people who are in combo areas, they are showing themselves they know their rights. This is my right, and this is my right. When the husband said, this is my right, and the wife said, this is my right. So both of you, one of you should be come down. So you can go together.
But okay, I know what you mean, but don't you expect that sort of behavior sort of in an urban setting? You have got all these influences, whereas in rural areas we tend to be more traditional.
Yes, of course.
So that makes sense. So, but again, when you come to the urban setting, we're slightly different, aren't we?
Yes, of course. Yeah, that's it. Because sometimes you can see some spouses who have got married more than 30 years ago and come and file a divorce before the court, have been blessed children. So I think why, before you come and claim for a divorce, why you not sit the family level to discuss about that issue and to solve the problem without not going to the court?
Absolutely. But here, because you've already said that perhaps each sort of trying to assert his or her rights.
Her rights.
That's it, stuff like that. But what do you think really got them to that point? What do you think is going on now within the dynamic of what we call marriage? You see it breaking down.
Yeah, lack of understanding our religions. Lack of understanding our religions. There's two spouses as a husband and wife. The Islamic jurisprudence break anything and give each of you your rights. And you should know what is your right. When you know your rights, not all the rights can claim. Some of the rights you can forget about it. So you can see sometimes which the cause of divorce, it's sometimes financial problem. Yeah, financial problem. 5 years ago, your husband is a very rich man. After 5 years, he became a poor. What he was expecting, now we are not getting. What he was getting 5 years ago, now we are not getting that. So it brings problems between the two spouses.
You see, that financial element, of course, everybody understands that without finances, then there would be pressure.
Yes,
really, in the family. Yeah. But I'm also going to have to say this. I'm of an age, really. Now we've got some perspective. When we were younger, that's it. A lot of people really didn't have money, but socially there were certain ideas that perhaps sort of inhibited some people. I mean, divorce was such a stigma. Everybody would talk about it. Even though within the families there wasn't much money, But the ideas about marriage different, which one suspects that perhaps these ideas have moved on to where I do not know. What do you think? Just to put the financial element in context.
In context, yes.
You know what I mean? It's a relevant factor, but I am not sure whether it is a defining factor. What do you think?
Okay. Mr. Mboj, you are right. Do you know, marriage it is part of our religion. And it is part of our life. So it is very important. If you are getting married, you have to be the same age. It is very important. Because sometimes you saw an old man was married a young, small baby or a girl. So maybe
I have a feeling
she needs
each generation,
each
generation has done something like that.
Something from you, and if she didn't got those things, that will cause a divorce. It will cause a divorce, and there are some things also. The involving of the family, the another parties, which we call third parties. It's break a lot of marriage. A lot of marriage in our society.
What do you call them? What, third parties?
Third parties. Yeah, third parties.
But I think we've always had third parties, because whenever there's some kind of tension, there's always an aunt, a friend, somebody would come. We've always had third parties. You know what I mean? To come and try to reconcile problems. So what kind of third party are we talking about
Mr.
here?
Mboj, do you know, if you have a problem, as a husband and wife, you have to be very careful.
Absolutely.
Divorce is the last option to solve the problem. It's the last option to solve the problem. So you have step. You can take this issue. If you have a problem, just go step by step.
That's it. So that should be the last resort.
Yeah. That's it. That should be the last resort. You can sit as a husband and wife, discuss, think about how we solve the problems which happen between us.
That's it. So the Sharia law.
If I offend you, I can apologize to you, Mr. Mboj.
Exactly.
As a husband.
Absolutely.
If you offend me, you should apologize to me as a wife.
So the Sharia law have steps to take before
finally
giving granted divorce.
Yes, of course.
Let's go through these steps.
Yes, of course, Mr. Mboj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Holy Quran, if you have problems, it's mean here the husband and the wife. Call your family. The wife's family and the husband family. Let them to sit together as a family able to discuss about the problem and to solve the problem. But it's unfortunate sometimes if your wife, you have a problem with your wife, she's angry and she claim a divorce, and where she claim a divorce and you grant her divorce. That's not correct, Mr. Mboj.
But I wonder though, when they come to the court looking for divorce, do you ask them whether they followed the steps? And if they hadn't, ask them to go back and follow these steps before they come back?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mboj. This correction is very interesting. Yes, of course. The court will do that. But sometimes if you do that, you can see some parties will be very angry to the Qadis. He maybe think the Qadi he has interest in this marriage. And that is a correct procedure. If they came to the court seeking for a divorce, just give him a time and let him go back, sit family level to discuss about it.
So it seems it's very similar then to what they have in the common law, the decree nisi.
Yes.
And it will take a long time before you get the decree absolute.
Absolutely, yes.
So it's a similar structure in place so that they can reflect.
Yes, of course.
You have time.
Okay, Mr. Mboj, also, a lot of men in the Gambia, they don't know the way of divorce. This is very important. In the Islamic jurisprudence, he divided the divorce and categorized it. When your wife asks for a divorce, she's on her period, you cannot divorce her.
All right.
That
When
is totally
when
prohibited.
She is menstruating.
Yes, menstruate.
Okay.
You cannot divorce.
You cannot divorce. All right.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And
So do you find that some men come to the courts demanding a divorce at this period?
yes, of course. And before you will ask the wife, you should ask no. Before you ask the husband, you should ask the wife, either she's on her period, menstrual period, or not. That should be clear. Based on what? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of his companions, divorced his wife in the Iddah. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, return her back to your matrimonial house. So, and if she's clean, if you want to divorce her, don't have sex with her. Also, if you come to the way of divorce, it's totally prohibited for you to divorce a wife and send her out. You divorce her and you tell her, leave my home or leave my house. The Islam doesn't allow it, and it's condemn it.
So she has to remain
remain
in the house.
Yeah, she have to remain in your house. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that in the Surah Talaq.
What about if I have a spare house somewhere, I'm slightly richer,
Yes.
and I want her to move to there, not to live with me? Does that matter?
Yeah, that's
That is all right.
That's all right.
As long as she's got a roof over her head.
Yes,
That's the primary concern.
Yes, of course.
But not necessarily be literally in the house. Granted.
Yeah.
So let's move
Do you
on.
know why, Mr. Mboch?
Yes.
If you divorce your wife during that 3 months period, she's still your wife.
Yep.
In the Islamic perspective, she's still your wife.
So she'll have to be with me for the 3 months.
Yeah, why? As I said, divorce, it's just to solve the problem. When you divorce her, she should go and think and revise herself. And you will go and sit and revise yourself.
After you've divorced?
Yes. After you divorce.
All right.
She's still your wife in the perspective of Sharia.
For 3 months?
For 3 months. She cannot marry to another man. And you will feed her.
That's interesting. So you mean, is it just the woman or the man? So nobody can marry within the 3 months, is that
no,
it?
The man has a right. The man has a right to marry the wife, suppose.
Okay. So here it applies only to the woman.
Yes.
They cannot get married for 3
months. So before that 3 months, as a husband, it's your fundamental right to return her back as your wife, for you to continue without not a new bad pride, without not a new contract in the marriage. There is no contract in a marriage during that period.
That's it.
Yes.
So, but then, if it goes beyond 3 months,
it is collapsed.
It has collapsed.
It has collapsed.
So we have to go back and remarry.
Yes, of course, and remarry.
And that can happen immediately.
Yes, of course. And you go to her family and pay for a bad price, and they will tie the marriage again.
That's it. You know, doctor, we hear these terms, child marriage. I wonder, what does the law, Sharia law, say about this child marriage, and even then child, what does it mean within our jurisdiction, as it were? I think
Yes,
it's until you are 18.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'm sure others will. Yes.
Yeah,
what
thank you.
does it say
This
about
question,
this?
it is very important. In our laws, I think the laws of the Gambia, in the constitution, if you come to the common law, it's 18 years above.
Yes.
But if you come to the Sharia law, it's left to her maturity, her matured. If you come to the Islam, he just mentioned designing her breath, seeing a period. Okay.
So, so this is about how the person looks physically.
Physically.
Because you've used maturity.
Maturity, yes.
For me, maturity is an internal process.
Internal process, yes, of course. Yes, of course. You are right. Yeah, you are right.
So in the end, I suppose it's
Yes,
going to be
sir.
physical.
Yes, of course.
So that can be under 18.
Yeah, that can be under 18. That can be 15, 16, 17. It can be.
That's it. So
Because some people are got married in this certain age, 15, 16, and they are not affected.
But even though the law,
Yes, of course. You are
the
talking
law
about
says that we shouldn't marry a child.
Yeah,
Anybody
we should
under
respect the
18.
law, but we should
But
respect
again,
the
there's a
law.
loop. I can escape it.
Yeah,
Under
it's-
Sharia law, I can go and marry somebody who is not 18. What do
Yeah.
you think about that?
Yeah, even the Islamic scholars, they talk about, they say that when the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was getting married, his wife, our mother Aisha, she was in 6 months. Sorry, she was in 6 years. But to bring her to his matrimonial house as a wife, she was in 9 years. 9 years old.
How would you respond to this? It's been a long time from then till now. We've got these forces of modernity.
Yes, of course.
Societies are evolving,
Evolving, yes.
not least because we are gaining new knowledge. So hopefully the new knowledge we gain about things would come back and help us regulate our lives slightly differently, taking this new knowledge into account.
Yes.
So perhaps we've seen medically what might happen to a woman, perhaps.
Yes, of course.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, I think the
So in other words, I'm going to ask you
specialized
this.
people like the doctors.
Absolutely. So I'm
yes.
going to ask you this. You're a PhD. Don't you think that legal systems, even constitutions, must evolve, as it were, as the people themselves are evolving to keep pace?
Yeah. This is very interesting. What we are looking, that is the interest of the human being and for his safety, and that is acceptable in Islam. We have to save the life. So if we see that it will be affect them, so let us to respect the law. If in a lot of some Islamic scholars they agree, the female cannot get married until she got 18 years. 18 years. Some Islamic scholars accept that.
So they've incorporated that, as it were. That's quite interesting. Yeah. But what about in this country?
Yeah, in this country,
they haven't.
I think 2015, if I don't forget. Now we have a law.
That's it. This is what I mean. There was a law.
Yeah, we have a law which
I think 2016.
Yeah,
wasn't
2016 or 2015.
Yes. It criminalizes.
Yeah, they criminalize to marry your daughter belong, I think, 18 years. 18 years. Yeah, they criminalize it. So if you did it, you can be a criminal offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, imagine a couple, they're talking, everything done, they are going to divorce.
Okay.
So now, after the divorce, then what? What rights have the woman got?
Thank you so much. Do you know, before you take action of divorce, you have to think about the consequence. It is very important. Divorce causes a lot of damage. When you are divorced, you are separate. You will involve the children. They will be victims when they are innocent. When they are innocent. Like if you come to the Islamic jurisprudence or Islamic perspectives, the Maliki taught of schools, if the divorce happens, if she's a female, you can give it to her mother to adopt her, or to have the child custody, to have the custody.
Yeah.
If he's a male, you can give it to his father.
At any specified age?
7 years.
7 years.
Yes. But female, as a female, until she got married.
Okay, as a female until she got
but
married.
sometimes some Islamic scholars said no. Sometimes you can look into the interest of the child.
But is it true that if a woman remarries, divorce here, and then you've got custody of a child or children, and then you remarry, would those children go to their father? Or that is determined, it depends on their gender, their sex?
Yeah. If the divorce happened, now I can say if you have 3 children or two children, male and female. Now, the man is above 7 years. Okay, now we will check the father. Either he has the responsibility to take care of the child. You can look into that before. So, and if she's a female, you will give it to her. The custody should be the mother. Then you will check. Either the mother also, she has the capacity to take the child custody of the child.
Yes, but now imagine here, a mother maybe doesn't have a work.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. And the children are there. We are divorced. So the 3 months you said you would have to provide food and shelter and that sort of thing for the woman, isn't it?
Yes.
For the 3 months.
Yes.
After the 3 months, any other obligations that the husband owes the former wife?
No.
None at all.
Yeah.
So this is quite curious because I do hear some women complain.
Okay, Mr. Mboch, thank you so much. Do you know, when the divorce happened, the father, he's the one who will take that financial responsibility.
You said for 3 months, I thought, isn't it?
Yes, for 3 months. After
then
3
afterwards,
months,
yes.
After 3 months, if the court give the female child to her mother, the father should feed her. He's the one who has that responsibility.
Okay, so that is what alimony, I've heard this word alimony used before, but I think it's an Americanism. That's it. But the father must give sustenance money to the children and the like.
Yeah.
You see, this is also, one brings out some kind of contrast. I remember when we were living in the West, with the common law there, in any divorce, whatever property, because often you realize that we work together, husband and wife work together. They build something together. Then suddenly there's divorce. And then you have to go. Is there any provision catering to that? Imagine that we work together. I did all of it as a woman.
Okay.
Divorced. Any obligations that the man owes the woman?
Yeah, Mr. Mboch, the Islam give all this responsibility to the husband, to the man. Give you full responsibility. You should take care of your family. Even your wife is working, her money is her money. It's not your money.
So even if the wife has more money than the man, still it's the man's responsibility.
Yes, of course.
So the woman doesn't have responsibility
No.
when it comes to finances.
No, not at all. She can help you as a couples, as my husband, but it is not her responsibility. You brought her.
But isn't it, this is the key, isn't it? Early on when I talked about forces of modernity.
Maternity.
Yeah, sort of when you look at women as a kind of chattel, the way you said it, you brought her as if she's a piece of property. She accepted to come.
Okay.
You know, that sort of thing. So, to my mind, you have a traditional way of doing things.
Yes.
In the marriages and all of that.
Yes.
Against what I just call the forces of modernity. People are more individualistic now.
Yes,
You've actually seen it in the urban,
yes,
particularly in the urban
yes.
areas. Yes. So, how do you see society going? Because you're going to have this confrontation between tradition and modernity. We are already feeling it. And you know the pulling power of modernity.
Yes, Mr. Mboj, do you know this traditional issue, let us to respect it. It is very important. There was a time, just think about 20 years ago or 30 years ago, when the two couples has a problem, immediately that problem will be solved. The elders will sit and do their work to solve the problems. But now we don't have it.
This is what you're saying. Yes, societies have changed.
Yeah, society has changed. So just if you go to Malaysia, now they have the marital training. Before you got married, you should go to the institution, do for a 6 months training. Then after that, they will certificate you. You got married. And Egypt also, I think year before last, when the divorce it increased, they also brought that idea. I think Gambia also we should think about that. To have a marital training institution. So I think if you have that institution, it will reduce the problems. It will reduce the divorce.
Yeah, absolutely. Was going to be one of my questions. Yes. Any preventive measures?
Yes.
Because with you know, once things start to come to the court, yes, you know that things have gone really bad, as it were. Yes. So could there be any social structure that could perhaps identify things earlier on, perhaps easier to deal with? Something similar.
Yes.
Something like that. Where the elders fail, because it used to be the elders, the mothers, fathers, uncles.
Yes.
Now.
Do you know, Mr. Mboj, our laws need to be reviewed. Like the Islamic jurisprudence says that the husband is the one who has power and has the right to divorce his wife. If we are not witness, it's not need to bring a witness. I'm just going to say that. Okay.
So you think that needs to change?
Yeah. We should look into that to change those kind of laws. If the husband he divorced his wife, and then after a few minutes, when the wife left, and she married with another man, and her husband who divorced her before, and if he claimed that she's still my wife, what we are going to do? And the Islamic scholar said, if the husband said, I didn't divorce, he just will take an oath. And what he said, that will be stand. So it's mean, now the second husband who married her, that marriage should be break. That should be break. And that's happened before our court in Birkama. One of brothers came to file what we call to return his wife back to his matrimonial house, recovering of wife. When we called the wife, she said that, no, but he divorced me. And the husband, he denied that. If he denied, what we are going to do? And the wife said that, okay, she pulled her out from the marriage. It means she returned the dowry, the bad price, but she gave it to who? She said that I gave it to the mediator. And the mediator passed away. There is no evidence. There is no evidence. That's what we are going to do. What he has said, that will be start. Now, what we are going to do, Mr. Butch, the court should break that, the second marriage should be break. And for her to return the dowry and the second time.
So
the
because
court
you
will
said
make
there's no evidence that there was a divorce.
There's no evidence there was a divorce. So that's why a lot of Islamic scholars talk about this particular issue. This should be reviewed. If the husband want to divorce his wife, he should have an evidence, witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. So I will ask you this: you've mentioned there are 2 instances where you think that the law should be reviewed.
Yeah.
So more broadly, though, what kind of factors should determine what we decide to change and what we don't want to change? What factors should determine that decision? What do you think?
Yes, thank you so much. What we have one thing, what we call fatwa. Fatwa, the Imam Shafi'i said the fatwa can change based on the circumstances and the people, their habits and their movements.
But is this based on their habits and their movement? Absolutely. But I wonder, this thought, is it only representative or reflective of the thought of a particular school of thought? Or do you have many schools of thought agreeing? Or what school of thought is more prevalent here?
Yeah. The school of thought which is prevalent here, it's Maliki.
It's Maliki.
Yeah, it's
That's
Maliki
the one you
school.
belong to.
Yeah. Not of all of Kurdish court, but some Kurdish can come by. Some Kurdish can come by what the Maliki said in this issue, and what the Shafi'i said in this issue, and what the Hanbali said, and what the Abu Hanifa said. So you can come by. But some of courts, they will just go direct to the Maliki thought of schools and believe their judgment.
So here you have people belonging to all these different schools operating.
Yes, of course.
Within the
like me, in my judgment, I will not rely on the only Maliki thought of schools. I will do my research, both of these schools, and what is powerful, yes, I will take that, so base that on my judgment.
Mm. So what do you make of the idea that having the civil common law, having customary, having Sharia, and what you've just said now, you've got all of these different schools of thought. Don't you think that it has sort of created a whole ecology of contradiction and confusion within our law?
No, not at all. Because of, if you look, Mr. Mbuch, Sharia courts, it's talking about only the Sharia issues, the Islamic matters. Apart of that, they will not talk about anything. That's their jurisdiction. So if you come to these criminal issues, common law in the Gambia here, the common law it's operating. So only this, like somebody killed somebody, that matter should go to the High Court. And somebody rob a bank, and we have an accident. Somebody took a loan from somebody, that should go to the civil court.
Yes, so
yes.
all criminal matters,
yes.
That's for the state to deal with.
Deal with it.
Isn't it? Yeah?
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then civil matters,
yes.
That's where you can apply, I think they call it personal law.
Personal law, yes, of course. Yes, personal law.
That sort of thing.
Yes.
But I will put it that way. Where can I appeal a CADI decision?
Thank you so much. We have only one stage of appealing the CADI decision, and I think the judiciary should look into that, because of when you disagree.
What is that state? What is that state you're talking about?
Do you know if you go to this common law system, you have magistrate court, and you have high court, and you have court of appeal, and you have Supreme Court. But if you come to the CADI court, you have only lower court and the high court level, and the case should be appealed up to the Supreme Court. And we don't have the level of Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court.
Yes, whatever. How would you respond to this argument that if you want to do that, because we are told that whether you call the state secular or not, that's irrelevant. The idea is that here the state doesn't prefer any religion over another.
Yes, of course.
Isn't that the case?
Yes,
That's how we operate.
Yes, of course.
But if you want that all the way to the Supreme Court, wouldn't it seem like our state, our judiciary at least, is aligning more itself with Sharia, with Islam?
Yeah.
And then what might that cause in the Christian community, given the accommodation that we have had for God knows how long? We are known as the most peaceful. We don't have any problems really regarding religion. No, really, regarding tribes either. Don't you think that kind of decision will upset this balance?
Yes, Mr. Mbod, do you know Gambia has never been an secular state?
But still, the state has never preferred one religion over another.
Yes, of course.
Exactly.
Constitutionally.
Yes.
Yeah. But the 90% or 95% are Muslims. So that's why if you come to the two Muslims, their matter, it's concern about an Islamic issue.
But Doctor, here I have to hold on before you go on to say that the Gambia, that's 90%, 95% Muslims, yes. But that is just a factual point.
Yes,
it is not a principled argument.
Okay.
You've just given me a factual point.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you want to extrapolate from that. What principle are you trying to extrapolate from that fact?
Okay. Do you know, we are talking about, let's go back to this appeal court.
Yes.
Okay. If you go to the CADI court, you have only two levels, yes. Lower court and court of appeal. So if you appeal your case and you are not satisfied, so still constitutionally you have constitutional right to appeal up to Supreme Court.
That's it. So that route is already there.
Yes, it's
so
already there.
Duplicate it.
Yes, but you don't have the Islamic Sharia experts in that level. So if you want to appeal your case, you should have the Sharia expert in that level. Like Court of Appeal, you should have the Sharia expert in the Court of Appeal, and you should have a Sharia expert in the Supreme Court. So, but right now, if you appeal your case to the Supreme Court, who is going to sit on that case?
Thank you very much. That's a bright point on which to finish this. So you said it earlier, for us to really go back to sustainable marriages, let's go back to religion, isn't it? Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Kadi Alhaji Moro Suwane. It's been a pleasant conversation here.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much, our viewers. Until next time, I'm Mamadou Mbodj. Goodbye.
Thank you.